picture the absolute loudest party you have ever been to.
Oh, easily.
Right, now multiply that by 1,000. That is Red London right now. We are talking fireworks that turn the night sky into this kaleidoscope of gold and crimson.
It's shaking the very cobblestone.
Literally shaking them. The streets are absolutely packed. You've got sweaty bodies, chanting, drinking, people screaming the names of champions. It is the end of the Essentash, right? The tournament of elements.
Pure, unadulterated joy. A city at the absolute height of its power.
Exactly. And that is the perfect misdirection.
It really is. Because while the whole city is drunk on celebration, if you cut through that noise, slice right through the cheering crowds, and zoom into the royal palace.
The air doesn't smell like wine or gunpowder anymore.
No, it smells like iron. It smells like antiseptic.
We're in the royal chambers, and the party is definitely over. Prince Raimaresh, the golden boy of Red London, the heart of the city, is dying.
His chest has been completely carved open.
Yeah, and this isn't just a tragedy for the crown. Because of the spell that binds his life to his brothers, somewhere a universe away, the most powerful magician in existence is bleeding out in empathy.
The stakes here are just astronomical immediately. The link is snapping.
Right.
And we have to remind you, if that link between Rai and Kel snaps, the door between the worlds doesn't just close, it shatters.
The structural integrity of the entire universe is tied to these two young men.
And waiting to step through that fracture, just waiting in the wings to devour absolutely everything, is a literal god of chaos.
Talk about starting in media res, it is a heart attack on page 1.
It creates this suffocating tension right out of the gate. You don't get a recap, you don't get a breath to settle in.
No, you are thrown right into the metallic taste of blood and the fading pulse.
Which is exactly why this book works so well.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are not easing into things at all. We are tackling the massive, heart-stopping finale of V.E. Schwab's Shades of Magic trilogy.
The Conjuring of Light.
That's the one. We have a massive mountain of notes, character studies, and magical theory to get through today.
A literal stack of pages.
Yeah, our mission today is to map the journey from this moment of absolute catastrophe that we just described all the way to the final page.
And it is a profound journey. This isn't just a fantasy adventure with, capes and spells.
Right.
When you strip away the coats and the magic, this book is a brutal case study on the cost of power.
Oh, absolutely.
It asks a very uncomfortable question that we are going to explore deeply today.
Which is?
How much of yourself are you willing to amputate to save the world?
Wow. That's a heavy question, but it's the central thread here.
It permeates every single chapter.
We are going to look at how three people who basically can't stand each other, Kel, Leela, and Holland, are forced to unite to kill a god. So, okay, let's unpack this. We open with what we're calling the collapse.
The collapse is definitely the right word for it. Usually in a finale, you expect the heroes to be rallying, like standing tall, getting ready for the final battle.
Yeah, gearing up.
But here, the board has been completely flipped. They are dismantled. Let's look at Kel first.
Oh, Kel.
For 2 books, Kel has been the Antari. He is the powerhouse. He bends blood and reality. He's the guy you call when things go sideways.
And now he is in a cage, literally.
He is in a cage in White London, captured by the usurper king. But it's not just iron bars.
No, it's so much worse.
It is a device specifically engineered to neutralize him. He is strapped to a metal frame wearing this collar that completely severs his connection to magic.
I want to pause on that because for a character like Kel, that psychological shift must be devastating.
Unbearable.
Because Kel defines himself by his utility, doesn't he? He is the protector. He protects Rai. He protects the kingdom. That is his whole purpose for existing.
Exactly. He is a weapon that has been unloaded. When you take the magic away, Kel is forced to confront a terrifying void in his own identity.
It's like, who is he without the magic?
Right. The source material describes a numbing cold and an absence of hope. The collar actually casts a shadow over his mind.
But what makes this opening so visceral is that connection to Rai we mentioned.
Yes.
He can feel Rai dying. He feels the fading pulse across the dimensional barrier. He knows he has seconds, maybe minutes to act.
And he can't cast a single spell. He
Oh,
tries,
yeah.
right. He tries to say the words as steno.
But nothing happens. The magic is just dead to him.
So he chooses the only option left. Physics.
Brutal, simple physics.
Most raw, agonizing force.
The description here, I still wince thinking about it. The crack of bone inside his wrist, the tear of flesh.
Yeah.
He physically breaks his own wrists to slide them out of the manacles.
It is horrific to read, but it's also the thematic thesis statement of the entire book.
How so?
Magic isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card anymore. If you want to survive this finale,
Mm.
you have to pay in pain.
Hmm.
Willpower is the new magic. He has to break himself to be free.
He literally amputates a part of his physical well-being.
Exactly. It creates this immediate sense that the characters are going to have to give up pieces of themselves just to survive the next few days.
Speaking of willpower, while Kel is mangling himself to escape, we have to talk about Delilah Bard.
We always have to talk about Leela,
She is running through the streets of Red London, and she is terrified.
which is incredibly rare for Leela. She's usually the one causing the terror.
True, but she's clutching the stone she stole from Astrid Dane's mouth, which again is gross, but so awesome, and she is desperate.
She knows she can't wait for Kel to come back and open a door. Time is up.
So she does something that technically should be impossible for her. She uses blood magic.
This is the massive pivot point for Leela. Up until now, she's been a thief, a pirate, a wannabe.
A very dangerous wannabe.
Sure, but still.
Yeah.
She has coveted power, she has flirted with it, but she's always been on the periphery of the true magicians.
Right, looking in through the window.
But by clutching that stone and saying, as Travars, the travel spell, she is forcing her way into the club.
The text mentions she feels the gravity twist. It's not graceful like when Kel does it. It sounds violent.
It is violent. She is effectively stealing the power of a god. She is hacking the magical system.
And it works.
It does. She crosses worlds. She saves Kel, and that changes their dynamic forever.
She isn't the sidekick anymore?
Not at all.
Uh,
She isn't the passenger. She is a power player now. She proves that power isn't just about bloodline. It's about the audacity to take it.
It's such a Leela moment. She doesn't ask for permission. She just kicks the door down.
That's her entire personality in one spell.
So we have Kel broken physically, Leela breaking the laws of magic entirely, and then there is Holland, the Antari of White London.
If Kel is in a physical cage, Holland is in something much, much worse.
Holland is in hell. A literal hell of the mind.
We need to explain this situation because it's a bit complicated for anyone who isn't keeping track of the magical possession rules.
Yeah, let's break it down. Osaron, the Shadow King, has possessed his body.
Yes, Holland is conscious, but he is drowning in the dark water of his own psyche.
He is trapped under an iron will.
Imagine being locked in the trunk of a car while someone else is driving it off a cliff, and that someone is an ancient, malevolent deity.
That is horrifying.
That is Holland's existence right now.
Holland is such a tragic figure in this series. I mean, think about his resume of suffering.
It's a long list.
Enslaved by the Dane twins, tortured, enslaved by the White King, and now possessed by a god.
He has never been free, not for a single day of his adult life.
And that context is vital, isn't it?
It is, because it explains his motivation in this book.
Yeah.
He isn't fighting Osaron to save his own life. He probably thinks his life is forfeit anyway.
He assumed he was dead the moment Osaron took hold.
Exactly. He is fighting because he realizes his bargain. The deal he made to bring magic back to White London has doomed Red London.
He just wanted to save his city.
He did. He was a patriot in the most desperate sense imaginable. But he realizes that Osaron used him as a bridge.
A Trojan horse.
Yes. And Holland refuses to let his city be the cause of another world's apocalypse.
That guilt is the only thing keeping him from just letting go and drowning in that dark water.
He is fighting a total war in his own head while his body is being used to destroy the world.
So let's look at the threat they are facing, Osaron.
The Shadow King himself.
It would be so easy to dismiss him as just a Dark Lord trope, you know? A big bad guy who wants to destroy everything for the sake of being evil.
But the text gives him a weirdly compelling philosophy.
He doesn't see himself as a villain at all.
That's exactly what makes him dangerous. If you analyze his internal monologue, Osaron believes he is the savior.
He calls himself a king, a god.
Think about how he sees the world. He looks at Red London, a city where magic is vibrant, yes, but it's used for commerce, for street games, for lighting lamps.
Everyday utility.
To him, that is a waste, that is vulgar. He sees magic as a divine force that should be worshipped, not used as a utility to make life convenient.
He wants to turn the city into a paradise of pure power.
But his version of paradise is very distinct.
Yeah, I was struck by the visual descriptions of the Black London infection spreading. Glass flowers blooming on the stairs, black ice covering the river.
It turns the palace into this dark, organic structure with veins of magic.
It's beautiful in a horrifying way.
It is aesthetically stunning,
Yeah.
but it is biologically dead.
Right, it's totally cold.
The expert analysis here is magic overwhelming nature. A functional world needs a balance between growth and decay, blood and breath, soft and hard.
Life is messy.
Yes. Osaron is static perfection. He turns living things into beautiful, unmoving statues. It's a cancer that looks like a jewel.
He wants to calcify the world into something that never changes, never rots, but also never truly lives.
And it's not just the architecture that he changes. It's the people.
The silver.
The people who survive his touch and completely lose their minds.
There's that chilling scene with the carriage driver. Osaron just touches him, and the man immediately surrenders. He hands over his will because Osaron offers him what exactly? Purpose.
He offers him freedom from choice.
Freedom from choice.
Think about it from an everyday perspective. Life is hard for you. Making decisions is a heavy burden. Worrying about rent, about love, about the future, it's exhausting.
Yeah, the daily grind.
Osaron basically says, give me your will and you will never be afraid or confused again.
It is the ultimate authoritarian bargain.
Precisely. He doesn't want citizens who vote or think or rebel. He wants extensions of himself. He wants to be the absolute hive mind.
That is terrifying, because on some level, you can understand why someone who is tired might take that deal.
It's the loss of self, presented as a gift.
So you have a god who can enslave you with a literal touch. You can't outpunch him. You can't outmagic him because he is magic.
Which forces our three heroes, and I use that term very loosely with Holland, into the most awkward road trip in history.
The uneasy alliance. And uneasy is the understatement of the century here.
You have Kel, Leela, and Holland trapped on a ship together, the Night Spire.
It's an absolute pressure cooker. Let's look at the dynamics here for a second. Holland tortured Kel in the past. Kel stabbed Holland.
Lila trusts absolutely no one and is liable to stab either of them if they sneeze wrong.
And they're stuck on a boat in the middle of the ocean.
But that friction is the engine of the plot here. They are forced to acknowledge a very hard truth.
That raw power is useless.
Yes. Osaron is a bonfire. They are just matches. If they try to burn him, they will just be consumed.
So the strategy has to shift entirely. They don't need a weapon to kill him. They need a prison to hold him.
Which brings us to the captain of this doomed ship, Alucard Emery.
Grai's boyfriend, a notorious privateer and arguably the only person with a level head on his shoulders in this entire group.
Alucard is crucial to this segment because he offers an outside perspective on these three monsters. He grounds the story.
He does.
But he also offers a unique perspective through his specific type of magic. He has this ability where he sees threads of power.
And the way he describes Holland's magic through that sight is fascinating.
He sees it as broken bones that didn't set right.
Yes. That image stuck with me too. It completely visualizes Holland's trauma.
His magic is powerful, but it's jagged. It has scar tissue all over it.
It cuts the user as much as it cuts the target.
It's a brilliant piece of writing because it shows us that trauma doesn't just disappear. It changes the very shape of who you are and how you operate in the world.
Alucard acts as the anchor here, pointing out that since they can't kill Osaron, they need a vessel.
And to get a vessel strong enough to hold a god, they have to go to the floating market.
Now, I love a good magical market. It's a classic fantasy trope.
This isn't your standard magical alleyway, though.
No, definitely not. It's a black market flotilla out at sea. And the merchant they meet, Maris, she is pure nightmare fuel.
She's ancient, she's incredibly creepy, and she operates on a completely different set of rules than anyone else.
The floating market represents the core economy of the series, which is cost.
Exactly. You don't pay with gold here. Gold is vulgar to Maris. Maris deals in the really valuable stuff.
Life, memories, pain.
She has the Inheritor. It's a vice that can trap a god, but the price tag is staggering.
She demands a trade from each of them, and this section for me was where the book really dug its claws in.
Let's break down those trades because they symbolize what each character values most in the world.
Let's start with Alucard.
Alucard trades a liren, a magical mirror that shows the absolute truth of the past.
Which honestly doesn't sound like much compared to what comes later, but for Alucard,
For a man who survives on charm, secrets, and a carefully hidden history,
it's massive.
giving up the truth is a heavy blow. He is a character who curates his image incredibly carefully. Giving up the object that reveals reality is him giving up his deepest defenses.
Then you have Kel, This one hurt to read.
It's brutal.
He trades memories, specifically the memories of his early childhood, his real parents.
Think about what that actually means for Kel psychologically.
He has always felt like a pawn.
A royal adoptee with no origin. He doesn't know where he came from. Those memories were his only anchor to his self before he became the Antari.
Before he became a tool of the crown.
Exactly. By giving them up, he is erasing his own origin story.
He's basically saying, my life is not my own.
He is confirming his greatest fear, that he is just a weapon to be used and discarded.
He sacrifices his past to save his brother's future. It's noble, but it's incredibly sad to witness.
It is. But then Leela,
Maris looks at her and says, I want your eye.
just like that.
And I remember reading this and thinking, surely there's a loophole.
Right, like a trick of the wording.
Surely she trades a magical glass eye she found or some kind of jewel. But no, she takes a knife.
And she cuts it out.
Why? What drives a person to do that? To literally mutilate themselves in a market stall?
It is the ultimate commitment to her transformation. Leela relies on her sight. She's a thief, she's a sharpshooter.
Giving up an eye is a massive tactical disadvantage for a fighter.
But look at what she gets in return. She replaces her natural eye with the inheritor, the glass orb that traps the god.
She puts the prison inside her own head.
Precisely. And in doing so, she makes herself a true Antari.
Because Antari are born with one black eye.
Exactly. Leela Bard carves one into her own face.
That is so intense.
It is a profound rejection of destiny. She is saying, I wasn't born chosen. Fine, I will choose myself.
It really blurs the line between heroism and obsession.
She literally embodies the cost of magic in that moment.
It also gives her a terrifying new look. So now she has a magical glass eye that can eat a god. They have the vessel, they have the team.
They return to Red London for the showdown.
The climax, the setup here is ingenious.
They know they still can't fight Osaron one-on-one, so they use the rings.
These silver rings that bind their life forces and their magic together, they pool their resources.
It's like a magical battery.
Yeah.
But there's a catch. Someone has to be the anchor.
Someone has to take the unbelievable strain of channeling 3 Antari worth of power.
And Holland steps up.
Which creates a fascinating tactical dynamic for the battle.
You have Leela and Kel feeding power into Holland, who is physically grappling with Osaron.
But the battle isn't just beams of light shooting at each other like a standard action movie.
No, it's deeply psychological. Osaron tries to break them apart from the inside by offering them exactly what they want.
The temptation scene with Leela is intense. Osaron gets right into her head.
He sees her ambition. He tells her, I can make you unstoppable.
He offers her absolute freedom. And for a girl who hates being tied down, that's the ultimate carrot to dangle.
It is. But this is where Leela's entire character arc culminates.
She rejects him.
She realizes that true strength isn't just raw power. It's control.
It's the ability to say no.
If she accepts Osaron's gift, she just becomes another puppet. She chooses to be herself flawed, limited, one-eyed, rather than a god's pet.
She burns the possessed body of Ochka, Osaron's lieutenant, and effectively declares war on the very idea of easy power.
And while Leela is fighting the temptation, Holland is fighting the god.
This is the redemption arc we've been waiting for. It's heartbreaking, really. Holland realizes they can't just push Osaron into the device. Osaron is too strong. He's too rooted in the magic of the city.
He has to be dragged.
So Holland does the unthinkable.
He embraces the Shadow King.
He opens his own defenses and grapples Osaron soul to soul.
He realizes he won't survive this.
He knows it. He uses his own body as the trap.
He forces Osaron into the inheritor, knowing the process will literally tear him apart.
But here's the nuance that makes it a masterpiece of character writing. He isn't dying for Kel.
Right.
He isn't dying for Red London.
No, he is dying to destroy his master.
For his entire life, Holland has been enslaved. First by the Danes, then the White King, then Osaron.
So his death is his freedom.
His final act is his only true act of free will. He chooses how he ends.
He takes the god down with him.
It is a perfect end for his character. He redeems himself not by becoming a traditional shining hero, but by reclaiming his own agency.
And it works. Osaron is sucked into the glass eye. The shadow finally lifts.
But the aftermath, the silence that hits the city. And it's not all parades and confetti this time around.
No. The silence is heavy. The theme of cost follows us to the very last page. Look at Kel.
Kel's magic it's broken.
The source text implies it's shattered. The binding ring they used is fused to his hand. He can't even take it off.
And when he tries to summon magic, he feels an absence.
The bird of magic inside him is dead.
That is devastating for him. He defined his entire existence by his unique ability to move between worlds.
He saved the world, but he lost the thing that made him special. He's ordinary now.
Or at least powerless in the way he understood power.
He has to learn to be just Kel, not Master Kel, not the Antari.
And
Just a man. It's a huge, daunting adjustment.
Rai and Alucard.
They survive, but they're deeply scarred. Rai is described as being real enough to ache.
The link between Rai and Kel has changed too, isn't it?
They are still brothers, still connected, but the magic that bound their lives so tightly is altered. They have to learn to be individuals again.
And Holland.
Holland gets his peace.
He dies in a garden that was dead, but as the magic balance is restored, it begins to bloom.
He finds silence at last. The voices in his head finally stop. It's a somber, beautiful release.
Which leaves us with Leela, the girl who always runs, the girl who said she'd never stay.
She stays.
That is her ultimate growth.
She doesn't run off to the next adventure immediately. She stands with Kel.
And crucially, she stands with him when he is powerless.
Exactly. She isn't there for the Antari. She is there for the man.
For a character who built massive walls to keep everyone out, staying is the bravest thing she does in the entire trilogy.
So if we zoom out from all of this action, what is the ultimate takeaway here? We've gone from a dying prince to a trapped god to a broken hero.
A Conjuring of Light is really a story about equilibrium.
Yes, Osaron represented chaos magic without limits, growth without structure. That is a cancer.
The heroes represented the painful, absolute necessity of balance.
And balance hurts.
Always. You cannot have power without cost.
You cannot have love without the risk of loss. That line really stuck with me, that love and loss are two sides of the same exact coin.
You can't have the victory without the scar.
Kel has the physical scar on his hand. Leela has the missing eye. Holland has his grave.
It challenges you, the listener, to consider the definition of redemption. Holland did terrible things. He was a villain for much of the series.
But does one act of ultimate sacrifice wash that away? Or is it just the final necessary step in a tragic life?
The book doesn't give a simple answer. It just shows us the cost and lets us decide for ourselves.
It forces you to ask yourself a very provocative question.
If you were offered the power to fix the world, to make everything perfect, safe, beautiful, but you had to give up your humanity, your ability to choose, would you do it?
Osaron said yes. Holland said no.
And that no is what saved the world.
Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to reject perfection for a messy, painful reality.
This has been a wild ride through red, gray, white, and black London. If you haven't read A Conjuring of Light, you really need to experience the prose yourself. The way Schwab writes magic is so visceral, you can practically smell the ozone in blood.
Absolutely. It's a masterclass in character-driven fantasy.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you in the next world.
Or this one.